Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Arnie Diaz Show. Today's show, a review of Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun Maverick is the sequel to the 1986 movie Top Gun, directed by Tony Scott. Now, first and foremost, I'm going to say that movie did not age well. And to be honest, I don't think you need to really see that movie to enjoy this one. And I did. I enjoyed this movie very, very much. Again, the old movie did not age well. There's a lot about it that I honestly don't really like too much. Look, I'm telling you, there's a bunch of like really good, like 5-minute long recaps of that movie that you can just go watch right now on YouTube. Watch those. If you haven't seen the first one, you don't need to watch it. You don't need to actually slog through it. Personally, it's not great to me. I know some people who love it because they got those nostalgia berries. It's a very nostalgic 80s movie. There's just a lot about it that I think didn't age too well. But do yourself a favor. It will help you tremendously to watch this movie if you watch a little bit of recap. But ultimately, you don't really need to know exactly what went on with that movie to really enjoy this piece of cinema. This was directed by Joseph Kosinski. I really like Joseph Kosinski. His movies have included Tron Legacy, Oblivion, and Only the Brave. 3 very vastly different movies, and his career has moved through a very interesting path. He's a very visual director, and I believe his growth as a filmmaker is being shown here. I thought that Tron Legacy was a fun visual feast, obviously helped by a tremendous score by Daft Punk and really good performances by many of the actors, but I think it did fall flat in the story aspect. Oblivion, I thought, was a fantastic science fiction movie. And this is, of course, where him and Tom Cruise met and started a relationship. I thought that movie was really fun and just so deep sci-fi in a way that I just hadn't seen in a movie on that scale. I just really loved it. It's Morgan Freeman, Tom Cruise, about this post-apocalyptic future where there's some really crazy things that happen. And then his movie Only the Brave, where he met Miles Teller, is where he began his like real understanding and maturation of being able to tell a story in a really cohesive, grounded way. And this Top Gun Maverick is where Joseph Kosinski and the relationship between him and Miles Teller and Tom Cruise really shines and turns into something that I think everyone must go see in the theater to truly enjoy. I have to talk about the visual effects. They're incredible in this movie. That Tom Cruise is a producer in this movie, and we all know that Tom Cruise has seen fit that he is going to die on a movie set one day. So he has to make sure that everything in his movies is as practical as humanly possible. And that is something that just doesn't happen in movies anymore. He actually became a producer on the Mission Impossible movies because he was told that he couldn't do certain stunts. So he decided to become an executive producer for those movies just so that he could actually go forth and do some of the most crazy, insane things that we've seen him do, falling off of airplanes. There's some crazy stuff he's doing in this next movie too that's just wild, doing halo jumps, filming them completely. It's just wild, and he brings that to this movie. The dog fights here are mostly filmed in camera, and there's a couple of really good behind the scenes videos that are also on YouTube you can watch about all of the actors in this movie that had to actually go through Top Gun training for a solid 3 months. And when they were in the cockpits of the movie, they had to actually film themselves because there was no way to actually have communication with the directors or anyone else besides them and the pilot. It is a visual feast that is just incredible to watch. Now, I will say there are some criticisms that I do have. The first act of this movie is very much an homage to the first movie, and it kind of lampoons itself and is a little ridiculous. But as soon as the second act begins with an incredible cameo by Val Kilmer, it really opens up into a fantastic action adventure film that is really, really taut. And it has a story that makes sense and fits within the world and the characters. We meet Maverick, Tom Cruise's character, who has been in the Navy, is a naval pilot forever, and at this point in his life, he should probably be an admiral of some sort, but he is still pigeon-held as a pilot because that's just where he wants to be. and he has to go back to Top Gun for a reason that makes perfect sense. And throughout the movie, you understand why he had to be there. Miles Teller plays the son of Goose. If you've seen the original movie, you understand how the impact of that character can be on the character of Maverick, and it really holds through the entire movie. For the beginning of the movie, I thought that their relationship was a little ham-fisted, but then towards the end, I bought it hook, line, and sinker. The story surrounds a mission that is so impossible that they have to bring back Tom Cruise's character to really train the new Top Gun pilots to, and it just makes perfect sense. It's really remarkable to me how well the story comes together here. There, again, I said the first act of this movie is a little ham-fisted and a little rushed, I think, but second act on, it is just a taut, beautifully told story that makes sense, fits in the world, and is truly exhilarating. You follow all of these pilots as you're going through this immense training, not for just learning how to fly a plane, but like an actual mission they have to go through. And the stakes are risen, they're high, and it just all comes together to a very satisfying and just fun, exhilarating movie. This movie begs to be seen on the big screen. I love the relationship between him and Jennifer Connelly. Now, her character is alluded to in the first movie, but she's really not in the first movie. So their relationship, you don't need to know anything about the first movie to understand what's going on with them. I thought their chemistry was really good. I miss Jennifer Connelly in movies. I think she's fantastic. There's some of her performances are just amazing, and I hate that she hasn't been used much more. But I love that. I love her character here. I love the dynamic between her and her daughter and Tom Cruise. And I also believe that this is probably some of the best acting I've ever seen Tom Cruise do. Look, Tom Cruise is just like, for all the weird weirdness that surrounds Tom Cruise, the man is a fucking movie star. And he puts his mind, body, and soul into these projects. And he did that for this movie. There is 100% homages to the original movie. And if you're a fan of that movie, you will definitely find a lot here to really take stock in and to really have fun with. It really does. I mean, it starts the ground running with that kind of stuff. And it really does give just really nice nods to that original film. For how bad I think the original film has aged, it is truly a hallmark of cinema and is definitely a cultural touchstone. And I know that there are many fans out there who watch that movie and still think fondly of it. The nostalgia for it is just so strong. And this movie does that justice. It gives you memories at the same time. It introduces a brand new story with brand new characters that is very fun and exhilarating. And I believe that a lot of this movie works simply because Tom Cruise has put it about himself, has made it his mission to just make sure there is much practical effects and made sure that there is a story that is cohesive and that works in the world of Top Gun. And it does. This movie is a crowd pleaser of the first order, and it begs to be seen in the big screen. Please do yourself a favor, take the family, go out and watch Top Gun in a theater if you feel comfortable doing that. I'm sure it'll be available on demand at some point in the future, but it is good. It really, really is. It's one of the funnest times that I've had in the movie. I'm changing my rating system because going 1 out of 5 is starting to confuse people. So I'm going to go out of 10. Okay? I give Top Gun Maverick a 9.5 out of 10. There is a little bit about the movie, especially the beginning, that I thought was just a little strange, a little ham-fisted, but then it hits the ground running after after the second act, and it is a true marvel of a movie, a true summer blockbuster that begs to be seen on the big screen. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Arnie Diaz. I'm Arnie Diaz 89 on all the social media platforms. Thanks for watching.